Hi, this is Shimilos and his group going to do a comparison between two countries. From these 195 countries, we have decided to compare between Japan and South Korea. This is the flag of Japan with a rectangular white banner bearing a crimson text at its center. This is the flag of South Korea, which has three parts: white rectangular background, a red and blue in its center, and four black trigrams, one towards each corner. To talk about the geographical location of Japan, it is an island country located in East Asia. It is bordered by the Sea of Japan to the west and the Pacific Ocean to the east. To talk about the geographical location of South Korea, it is also located in East Asia on the southern half of the Korean peninsula, located out from the far east of the Asian island. To talk about the brief history of Japan, in 8th century, Japan became unified into a strong state by an emperor. In 794, Emperor Kamu moved the capital to what is today Kyoto. This started Japan's Heian period, where much of today's distinct Japanese culture emerged, including art, literature, poetry, and music. In the 10th and 11th century, Japan entered into a feudal era. During this time, the samurai, a ruling class of warriors, came into power. The leader of the most powerful clan of samurais was called the shogun. In 1467, a civil war broke out called the Onin War. It was between the shogun and the feudal warriors called daimyo. Japan was once again unified in 1590 under Toyotomi Hideyoshi. In World War II, Japan allied with the Axis power of Germany and Italy. On December 17, 1941, Japan attacked the United States, bombing Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. This caused the United States to enter the war on the side of Allies. Japan surrendered in 1945 when the US dropped atomic bombs on the city of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In 1947, Japan adopted a constitution with a democratic government. Since then, Japan has grown into a powerful nation with one of the world's largest economy. To talk about the history of South Korea, the Republic of Korea was formed in the southern half of the Korean peninsula on 15 August 1948. In the north of peninsula, the communist-style government was formed in September of the same year, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The Korean War broke out when northern troops invaded South Korea in June 1950. They were backed by China and the Soviet Union. Troops from the United Nations and the United States fought with soldiers from the Southern Republic of Korea to defend it from the Communist North. After 32 years of military rule, Kim Jong-sam became the first civilian president of South Korea in 1993. In 1997, Kim Jin-jung was elected from a major opposition party. He had been a lifelong human rights and democracy activist, and his election marked a huge step forward in the country of democracy. He won the Nobel Prize in 2000 for his sunshine policy regarding North Korea. A family reunification program was started in 1985 and continued to this day. Serious tension remains with North Korea, which is highlighted by the sinking of warship by North Korea in 2010 and the artillery attack on South Korea's shoulders civilians later in the same year. Now let me talk about the traditional food and dress of Japan. The traditional dress of Japan is kimonos, which are generally made of silk, having large sleeves and reach from the shoulders all the way down to the heels. They are tied with a white belt called an obi. Kimonos are now usually worn only on special occasions such as the Shichin Kosan festival, weddings, and graduation ceremonies. Now let me talk about the food of Japan. A traditional Japanese meal consists of serving a plain white rice along with a main dish, fish or meat, some kind of side dishes, cooked vegetable, soup, and pickled vegetables. Now let me talk about the traditional dress of South Korea. It is a hanbok. It's known as South Korean traditional dress for a semi-formal or formal attire during traditional occasions such as festivals, celebrations, and ceremonies. And the traditional foods, it is known as the Korean cuisine, which is customary cooking traditions and practice of the Koreans. Korean cuisine has evolved through centuries of social and political change, originating from ancient agriculture and nomadic tradition in Korea and South.
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, I'm going to use the house state to analyze South Korea and Japan. House state defended national culture as a set of collective beliefs and values that distinguish people of one nationality from those of another. What has what has become known as the house-state cultural orientation model is based on his study between 1967 and 1973 of IBM employers in 40 different countries. Yeah, look at picture. There are 6 sections of house-state, which include power distance, individualism, masculinity, uncertainty avoidance, intelligence, and long-term orientation. Yeah, power distance refers to what extent people have an equal distribution of power. The dimension is constant with the degree to which individuals are integrated into groups. Individualism as a consent means that people seek and protect their own interests over the common good of the society and their roles in the society. Next one is masculinity versus femininity. This dimension is deal with the distribution of emotion roles between the genders. Halstead believes that the masculine dimension is very closely related to the concept of achievement motivation. A masculine culture is basically a performance-driven society where rewards and recognition for performance are the primary motivational focus of achievement. Next one is uncertainty avoidance. Uncertainty avoidance is not the same as risky avoidance. It deals with a society toleration of ambiguity. Next one is the long-term orientation. Long-term orientation captures the following environments, adaptations of tradition to the model context have severely reduced driven by shift, patience, and perseverance towards slow result and consent with accepting the demand of nature. Finally, intelligence standards of the society that allows relatively free gratification of basic and natural human desires related to enjoying in life and having fun. Reaching standards for a society that controls gratification of needs and regardless is by means of strict social norms. We can see this bar graph shows that the house-state occurs between Japan and South Korea. Yeah, look at picture. There is two scenes different occurs between Japan and South Korea. These two things individualism and masculinities. We can see in South Korea individualism got 18, but Japan is got 46. The circles of masculinity got 39 is in South Korea, but Japan got 95. Why the individualism is circles in is different between South Korea and Japan. The high circles in Japan can be attributed to the Japanese people having a more group orientation background. So in Japanese education is more their education is more appealing to group work. Yeah, while the masculinities result is different between South Korea and Japan. The masculinity feminist value dimension is relative insofar as it indicted the effectiveness of an organization's member to integrated organization practice within the company. So on the other hand, Japan is one of the most masculine society in the world.
Hello everyone, and now I will presenting the third part of this presentation, which is business etiquette. This is the overview of this part, and I will explain it from the three key points: negotiation, value manners, and meeting. Based on Japan culture, Japanese are strict and careful, so multiple planning and complex contract are required by them. However, it is not possible for a person who can decide it and sign all the contract. This is because Japan is a nation with a strong sense of collectivism. And in this situation is a little bit different with South Korea. In some South Korea family companies, the director or CEO will make some decisions, and Korean prefer contract to be flexible with room for judgments, and they will use three languages in this contract: English, Korean, and other country language. In addition, according to Hoff's method, boss and man in these two countries has high level and power. So Japanese and Korean used to hiding their options, and they don't say no to their boss and a high level people. And business cards and handshake also playing an important role in negotiate with these two countries, especially in Japan. When exchange business cards, place your own cards belong others, and handshake is a guarantee used in the business in South Korea. In the level of business value manner, gift as a tool, giving in business communication, which is a common part of Japan culture. The Japanese will presenting gift with both hands. For Korea, they like to know each other before beginning the business. They will do some research and compare the advantage and disadvantage. People who respond the project can enjoy the team to communication with other company people. But it a little bit different with Japan. Women and lawyers cannot allow to appear on the important occasions because Japanese thinking the women and the lawyers could be not believed. Moreover, in South Korea, people more likely go to barbecue, have lunch, and then go to KTV after work. And the person who pulls the wine must be served respectfully with both hands. For the business meeting, respect people who has high level in society is an important issue in these two countries, such as when visiting someone's office, waiting until hosts say, "Please have a seat," before sitting down. Bowling is a part of these two countries when negotiate with them. Korean balls are not as pronounced as Japan, but the younger and more junior party should always bone keep deeper. In addition, pay attention with all business people, also necessary for these two countries. Listening carefully and thinking in other people's position and meeting the other need, which is the standards in Japan companies. Finally, also need to avoid communication in the public holiday. And here is the public holiday list in these two countries. In conclusion, in this presentation, we compare Japan and South Korea from population, location,